What happens when silence becomes louder than answers? What happens when the person at the center of one of the most disturbing scandals in modern American history refuses to speak? This moment may define whether the public ever learns the full truth. Today, the House Oversight Committee faced exactly that moment, and the outcome has already sparked outrage, suspicion, and renewed pressure for accountability. This is Global USA News, and what you are about to hear matters to every American who still believes justice should not hide behind closed doors. The Republican chairman of the House Oversight Committee, James Comer, came out of a closed-door hearing and addressed the media with a message that many feared but still found deeply frustrating. Ghislaine Maxwell, the longtime associate of Jeffrey Epstein, chose to invoke her Fifth Amendment right. She refused to answer any questions put before the committee. That single decision instantly shifted the direction of the investigation and raised even more questions than answers. Chairman Comer explained that this development was expected, but that did not make it any less disappointing. He stated clearly that Maxwell declined to respond to every question asked. According to him, she took the Fifth Amendment and refused to provide any testimony at all. He stressed that the committee had prepared many serious and necessary questions regarding the crimes that Maxwell and Epstein allegedly committed together. In addition to that, the committee also wanted information about possible co-conspirators and others who may have played a role or benefited from those crimes. Comer emphasized that the purpose of the investigation is not political theater. He said the committee's goal is to uncover the truth for the American people and to deliver justice for the survivors. He repeated that this investigation exists for one reason, and that reason is accountability. He made it clear that the refusal to answer questions is a setback, but not the end of the process. The chairman then outlined what comes next. He confirmed that the committee has 5 additional depositions already scheduled as part of the Epstein investigation. These depositions are set to begin on February 18th. Among the names listed is Lex Wexner, a former financial client of Epstein and the former chief executive officer of Victoria's Secret. His appearance is expected to draw significant attention due to his past financial connections. Following that, on February 26th, the committee plans to depose former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton. The very next day, on February 27th, former President Bill Clinton is scheduled to appear. These announcements immediately raised the stakes of the investigation and signaled that the committee intends to question some of the most powerful figures connected to Epstein's social and political network. The schedule continues into March. On March 11th, Richard Kahn, who served as Epstein's accountant, is expected to testify. Then, on March 19th, Epstein's former lawyer, identified as Darren, is scheduled to appear before the committee. Chairman Comer said the committee will continue moving forward without delay and will pursue every available avenue to get answers for the public. When asked whether Britain's royal family may also have questions to answer, Comer responded carefully. He said the committee would be willing to hear from anyone who might have relevant information. However, he pointed out that he does not have the authority to subpoena individuals located in foreign countries. He added that if such authority existed, he would have used it in previous investigations as well. During the press exchange, Comer shared a statement made by Maxwell's attorney. According to him, her legal team claimed that there is no indication that either President Trump or President Clinton is culpable of any wrongdoing. Comer clarified that this statement came from Maxwell's attorney, not from Maxwell herself, and it was included in the opening remarks made to the committee. Reporters pressed further, asking whether Maxwell was under pressure to remain silent, or whether any outside forces may have influenced her decision. Comer responded by saying he had no knowledge of any such pressure. He stated that Maxwell had been given the opportunity to testify, and that the committee would have brought her in months earlier if she had been willing to answer questions. He said she made her intentions clear in advance and chose to plead the Fifth. He added that Maxwell had a chance to address questions that every American is asking. These were questions that could have been extremely important to the investigation. Instead, she chose to invoke her constitutional right against self-incrimination. Comer acknowledged that this is her legal right, but he also stressed that it does nothing to help uncover the truth. Another key moment came when reporters asked about a claim involving clemency. Maxwell's attorney reportedly stated that she would be willing to answer the committee's questions if she were granted clemency by President Trump. Comer clarified that this was not said by Maxwell directly, it was a statement made by her attorney. He confirmed that the attorney suggested Maxwell would cooperate only if she received clemency. The attorney also referenced Maxwell's ongoing legal efforts, including a habeas corpus petition seeking a new trial or possible release. Comer explained that this pending legal action is one of the reasons Maxwell's legal team advised her not to answer questions. According to him, those legal considerations played a major role in her refusal to testify. Comer confirmed that the upcoming deposition scheduled for February will be conducted privately, as agreed upon. However, he stressed that the transcripts, videos, and audio recordings will eventually be released to the public. He reminded reporters that since he became chairman, the committee has released every deposition transcript and recording once permitted. He assured the public that transparency remains a priority. He said the committee hopes to make the Maxwell proceedings public as soon as possible. He also reaffirmed that the committee has consistently released materials related to its investigations and plans to continue doing so. The conversation then shifted to whether the committee plans to subpoena additional individuals, including Commerce Secretary Howard. Comer said the committee's immediate focus is securing the 5 depositions already scheduled. He explained that the committee does not want to take any actions that could jeopardize those appearances. He said additional steps would be considered later. Comer made it clear that the committee is interested in speaking with anyone who may have information that could help bring justice to Epstein's survivors. He emphasized that the survivors remain at the center of the investigation and that their voices matter most.
Another reporter raised concerns about the disagreement with the Clintons regarding closed-door video testimony versus a public hearing. Chairman Comer responded by explaining how standard depositions work. He said that a standard deposition is conducted privately but later released to the public in full. He stated that this process has been used repeatedly and is not unusual. Comer said that the Clintons agreed to a standard deposition. He rejected claims that the committee is hiding testimony behind closed doors. He explained that every second of the deposition will be released, including video, and that the public will be able to see exactly what was said. He suggested that some narratives are being pushed to create confusion where none exists. He added that during these depositions, multiple members of Congress are present. This is not a secret process, and it is not designed to shield anyone from accountability. He expressed frustration with what he described as efforts to muddy the waters and misrepresent the facts. The discussion then shifted briefly to questions about another investigation involving Ilhan Omar. Comer explained that the Ethics Committee has jurisdiction only over members of Congress, not their spouses. He said that in this case, the businesses under question are owned by Omar's husband, which places the matter outside the Ethics Committee's authority. That is why the Oversight Committee is handling the inquiry. Returning to Maxwell, a reporter pointed out that she had previously been moved to a minimum security prison and is now asking for clemency. The question was whether moving her to that facility was a mistake. Comer said he does not know the reasoning behind the decision to move her. However, he made his personal view clear regarding clemency. He explained that Maxwell initially asked the Oversight Committee to grant her immunity. Comer said that after meeting with Epstein's survivors, it became clear to members of the committee that granting immunity would be wrong. He stated that survivors described Maxwell as a person who committed serious crimes and caused significant harm. Comer said that when the committee left that meeting, there was a bipartisan understanding that immunity would not be granted. He emphasized that Maxwell's request for clemency now comes directly from her legal team and is directed at the president, not the committee. He said that based on what he knows and what survivors have shared, he does not believe Maxwell should receive immunity or clemency of any kind. However, he also said that the committee will continue reviewing documents and evidence as they become available. Comer closed by highlighting what he sees as progress. He praised the fact that members of Congress are now able to review unredacted versions of Epstein-related documents. He credited the Attorney General for complying with subpoenas and following the requirements of the Epstein Transparency Act. He said that for the first time in a long time, it feels like real answers may finally be within reach. He reiterated that the ultimate objective is justice for the survivors. That goal, he said, will remain unchanged. Following Comer's remarks, the situation was summarized clearly. Ghislaine Maxwell pleaded the Fifth Amendment and refused to answer questions before the House Oversight Committee. Her attorney claimed that neither President Trump nor President Clinton is responsible for any wrongdoing, but Maxwell herself did not speak. It was also noted that Maxwell has been moved to a minimum security prison and is seeking clemency from President Trump in exchange for cooperation. Chairman Comer said he understands that decision process, but did not say whether it was appropriate. The committee is now preparing for a series of high-profile depositions in the coming weeks. These include appearances by Hillary Clinton and Bill Clinton, among others. Comer stated repeatedly that the purpose of these depositions is to seek truth and accountability. He emphasized again and again that justice for the survivors remains the driving force behind the investigation. Members of Congress are currently reviewing unredacted files at the Department of Justice, hoping to uncover new information. Many believe justice has been delayed for far too long. As more documents are examined and more witnesses are questioned, the public waits to see whether this investigation will finally deliver the answers that have been hidden for years. Global USA News will continue to follow every development closely.